What's going on, everybody? This is Paul with PRM BBQ Co. How are y'all guys doing today? And thank you for joining us here on Meet the Master. I am here with Trever Freeman of La Vega Independent School District, and he is the coach to the La Vega BBQ Club.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Freeman, thank you for coming over here, man, and joining us.
Appreciate it.
And so, man, we're going to get right into it, man. I mean, this is our Meet the Master series where we get to talk to the pit master and get to know a little bit more about him and what he does. And this is going to be a little different because he is a coach to a high school team that if I'm not mistaken, they're headed to Branson,
Correct.
Missouri to compete. So, guys, these are your future pit masters, your future grill masters, your chefs, your restaurateurs. This is where they're going to start, man. So, Trevor, tell us a little bit about yourself, man, and what you do.
So, my name's Trever Freeman. I work for La Vega High School, La Vega Independent School District in Waco. I'm a mathematics teacher over there, and a few years ago we decided we wanted to start a barbecue team. So I got together with a few of the other teachers, and we started and we competed. We're just getting ready to finish our second year competing in the Texas High School Barbecue Association, which is part of the National High School Barbecue Association. Okay. I can talk about that a little more later. But anyway, we're finishing up our second year, and then we are headed to Branson, Missouri to compete in nationals in just about another week and a half or two. So, and that'll wrap up our second year. So.
I mean, that's cool, man, because I love the experience that the students are getting with this, you know. I was just telling you right before we started interviewing, you know, Trevor asked me when was the first time or how long I've been doing this, and I answered with more like my first pit that I built was back in '98. Yeah. You know, and they're nothing like they are right now. Absolutely nothing like they are right now. Yeah. So I could not guarantee what type of results you would get with it. However, the result that came out of it is where we're at today.
Yes.
Is what we're doing right now. And so, but I'm glad that you have your team that's going to be going to, you said nationals, right?
Yes, sir.
It's going to be going to nationals. And I mean, that's just a cool experience, just period, man, being able to be a part of that. So a couple of questions that we're going to go into right now that you know Trevor a little bit more, where he's from, what he does, and what he's planning on continuing to do. The first question, and like I said earlier, you know, sometimes we direct these questions to like those pitmaster restaurant guys, you know, but this applies to everybody, whether you're a backyard restaurant, just starting up, decades of experience. Yeah. But what is your barbecue history and why, man? Like, why all of a sudden that you wanted to, you know, really throw yourself in and involve yourself in teaching or coaching these kids?
Yeah. So my barbecue history is actually very short. I've actually only been barbecuing for maybe 3 years or so. I was telling you earlier, I started with a Kamado Joe, and I love that little thing for the family. It's perfect. Yeah. It's quick. It's easy. It's not that difficult to learn on. And so anyway, I had been a teacher at La Vega for a year. I graduated from La Vega back in 2015, and now I've made my way back there. I'm teaching math. And anyway, I had been there for a year, and we had talked about getting involved in doing some sort of barbecue team for that first year I was there, but we weren't really sure how things were going to work out. Well, I had talked with some students, talked with some admin, talked with some other teachers, and so that following year, my second year, we decided that we were going to go for it. We had several teachers involved, myself, Mr. Redrick, Mr. Gutierrez, Mr. Rodriguez, and now Mr. Hernandez as well. So we actually have 4 or 5 coaches that help us along the way. But anyway, Mr. Gutierrez started, and he's been competition cooking on his trailer for many years. All right. And so he was kind of our jumping off and starting point. He let us use his trailer. He was very gracious to let us use his trailer for a year or two. And we also, along the way, have purchased barrel smokers for our kids and our teams to use as well. But anyway, he was kind of our gateway and entry to getting started competitively cooking, because he had the experience and the knowledge. I just know how to cook for my family and for my kids, and when my kids tell me, "Yum, Dad, this is good," you know. So, you know, competition-wise, it's a little different, you know. And so being able to have Mr. G on the team, Mr. Gutierrez, to bring that, you know, wealth of knowledge with them has been, you know, absolutely phenomenal for our kids and for our coaching staff as well.
That's great.
So that's how we got started competing. You know, I'm sure any competition people will know, first competition's always difficult. There's always something that's probably going to go wrong. And so it was a huge learning experience, you know. And particularly with our high school competitions, everything is always kind of different at different competitions. when I say that, we cook the same meats at every competition this year, but the judging is always different. If we're here in Central Texas, like in Waco, then we have our Central Texas barbecue. But if we go out east or go down south or even further north, there's different judges that are going to be there, and so you'll get a different result. Yeah. So what we like here at La Vega in Central Texas and Waco might not be the same thing that they like over there in Tyler, like one of the competitions we went to, or further south, or something. Right. So it's all dependent on that.
And I can attest to that whole competition thing. So obviously y'all guys have seen the video and y'all know that we just entered into our very first cook-off back in April. And it is totally different, man. It is not like cooking at home for your family. Yeah. The judges, they very much will critique your food. Yes. So, but I didn't take that into consideration what you said though about different regions of barbecue and the flavor profile of the judges. Like their palate profile is going to be different. Yep. And so that's probably the other challenging thing that maybe a lot of even competition cookers that stay in Texas are used to cooking for judges that are from Texas. Yeah. But because y'all compete not just locally and statewide, but also nationally, for example, y'all going to Branson, Missouri, and we all know that when you start getting outside of Texas, pork is king. Yeah. I just talked about that on the last interview that we had, with Mr. Ricky Hodges, right? Because he's from Georgia, not too far, but I'm just saying they cook different. So, man, that's actually something that if y'all guys are into the competition circuit, put that in your bag of knowledge, man, that your judges are going to be regional and they might like a different profile. Yeah. Now,
it can be sometimes a little difficult because, a week or so after we have a competition, we actually get our scorecards back and we get the feedback and commentary and everything. And so sometimes it can be a little difficult, like if we have a student that gets a first place, in ribs or whatever, but then the next meet we go to or competition we go to, she's like 6th, 7th, 8th, 10th, maybe doesn't even place, Right. That's difficult. You start asking those questions, you're like, oh man, do I change my recipe? What did I do wrong? Maybe I need to add this spice or that and the other. And it's like, hey, those thoughts are all good and well, but you need to stick with what you know and execute the best that you can.
Exactly. So here, man, it's going to lead to my next question is talking about that, right? Outside of, your team and all the different styles of cooking or whatever, when did you realize you needed to take the next step towards a unit like the one that y'all guys got?
So we, at this point, have 3 barbecue teams on the high school level. We would like to reach out into the junior high and get a 4th team. All of our students are food handler certified. It's required for them to compete. So anyway, we had gotten the concession stand job for Friday nights and for track season, and so we started cooking a lot higher volume, right, than just competitively. We also we do Easter fundraisers and Thanksgiving fundraisers and other things. And so we will do those for the community and cook and put on sales for the community. And so that's how we kind of make our money. Yeah. Those fundraisers and cooking at those athletic events, we're starting to cook a much higher volume than we do on a Saturday when we're competing, right? We're only cooking 4 or 5 things,
Absolutely.
So having a bigger trailer smoker like this is going to do a world for us in terms of the volume we can turn out. Also, I really love the fact that at the school I'm at, community is very important, and the people here in our district are very, very important, and we love our community, we love our students. And La Vega wants to be able to provide the best possible tool for our students at all times. Yeah. And so being able to step up to something as beautiful as this smoker out here, is very exciting. It just goes a step further to show that La Vega, our superintendent, Dr. Shields, our administration is very, very interested and involved with our barbecue team and the future of our kids and our children. Yeah. And so I'm very pleased I'm able to have a very small part, in helping facilitate all this, and helping to teach these kids. And I'm the math teacher, right? People don't typically like me. Kids don't like math. I don't particularly like math, but I do it because it's my job.
I like math now that I'm in business.
Yeah, exactly. And so it is kind of fun for the kids to see me outside of that light and our other coaches,
Absolutely.
behind the desk and teaching in that very black and white teacher-student relationship. Yeah. But then to cross over to start cooking and have more of a coaching mentor, relationship as well. our kids are able to cook for their families now.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely, man.
I mean,
Absolutely.
what a better skill to have for the rest of your life
Yeah.
than to be able to provide.
Right.
You know,
Teach them how to fish, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the whole concept.
Exactly.
Well, cool, man. So here's the next question. You kind of always, we touch on, I always like the way these questions go because the prior to always touches on the next. And this next question, though, thinking about what you just told me, what has been the most challenging thing to date?
So, our first competition was very, very difficult. We kind of have two aspects of the barbecue club or the barbecue team, if you will. We have our competitive side, which is our competitions, and that requires money to travel and to pay our entry fee and everything, and practice as well, right? It all costs money. So that's our first side, and our second side is our service side. So our service side would be like our concession stand cooking Friday nights, our fundraisers we put on. We've even cooked for our Region 12 education agency. They put on a Pictures with Santa and Dinner with Santa community event, and we were able to cater for that in our first year.
Right.
And being able to feed these families, and again community members and everything.
Right.
It's been just a huge blessing to be able to see. Because who doesn't love food, right? I mean,
Man, absolutely.
Who doesn't like to eat?
Yep, absolutely.
So having these two pieces of the puzzle, not only your competitive but also your service side, has been just a tremendous blessing for us. I don't know if that answered your question.
No, it did. Absolutely does, man. I mean, yeah, because it's always the thing is that there's people that are looking at purchasing smoker pits, right? And of course, the wisest thing to do is to always set everything down, write it down in paper, and figure it out.
Yeah.
What does it cost? What's it going to take to get there? What is it going to do for me in the future?
Yeah.
So a lot of people, though, tend to gravitate towards, well, I need to cook more, or I need to be able to serve more.
Yeah.
And this gives a real world scene
Yeah.
of what people are using them for. So for you guys in particular, and the interesting thing is that there is a pattern.
Yeah.
And I hear other pit masters that talk about it, and they're like, I just need to be able to cook more. I need to be able to do this. I need to be able to do it. And not just cook more, because, we can throw you, something random, but to be able to cook more and efficiently, and you still get a really good flavor profile, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it's at, man. So, it totally answered the question.
Yeah, probably. And I mean, this is going to be for anybody, whether you're a high school barbecue team or a business owner or whatever. I mean, difficulties just running a business, if you will. I mean, we have purchase orders we got to put in, and we've got orders, and we got to stock and go pick stuff up. I mean, that stuff's difficult, right?
Yep.
That's the real hard work.
Absolutely.
But being able for everyone to be able to work in tandem with each other and cooperate and and love one another, while we're doing all this throughout the year, that can be difficult too, because there's different emotions and everything, and everyone's got a different relationship. But I mean, the most difficult thing's always going to be running the business, the money and the numbers. The numbers.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
The numbers got to work. So.
But it's been great, though, for sure. So, this is just more of a personal thing, and favorite protein, least favorite protein, why?
So again, my history with barbecue is more cooking for my family, right? Yeah. And so my actually favorite thing to cook, and someone might hate me for this, some people might hate me for this, is actually chicken. Yeah. I love to cook chicken because my wife loves it, I love it, both my two picky boys love it. I got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old at home, Yeah. And everybody goes, yum, daddy's chicken, it's good, I love it, So that's actually my favorite thing to cook.
All right.
My least favorite, again, from my family experience, is brisket, just because it takes forever, and it takes me away from the kids and being able to help my wife out and everything.
Sure.
Now, I do love eating brisket, so don't kill me, don't tear me up.
Hey, man, I'm going to join you on that, and I will tell people I would rather go to a really good barbecue restaurant, buy some brisket, get my fix, and call it done.
So we actually, in Waco, Terry Black's opened up in Waco just a few weeks ago. Yeah. And my favorite thing to eat is probably their dino ribs, their big beef, huge dino ribs. But again, that's cost, that's time away from the family, having to maintain and everything. Yeah. That's probably my favorite thing to eat. Yeah. And so, and just a quick shout out to Terry Black's, because they were actually able to give our students kind of a congratulatory dinner.
Man. I saw that.
And it was very, very appreciative,
awesome.
Very generous. Yeah. They provided us, meat's expensive. They probably provided us $200-300 worth all
awesome,
the different
dude.
meats for them to try, and the kids loved it. They said they loved everything.
can't
Their
beat
favorite
that,
thing
man.
was the burn ends.
Yeah.
They loved the burn ends.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. That's awesome. So
Yeah.
hey, man, y'all guys go check out Terry Black's out in
Yeah.
Waco, man, because
Very
if they're
appreciative.
willing to do that,
Yes.
that's some good folks, man,
Yes,
for sure.
For sure.
So hey, man, kind of my closing on one pro tip that, and don't discount the fact that, you know, even though you say you've only been in it a little bit, you are a coach, you are a pitmaster.
Yeah.
What is one pro tip that you would like to share with the audience? You know, just anything.
So I think a couple of the recent pitmasters have kind of hit on this, but it's definitely time and patience and love. I am a very impatient person. I was talking with you briefly. I cook my pulled pork 400 degrees in 4 hours, you know.
Yeah.
I want it done now. I'm very impatient. That's probably why I don't like cooking brisket that much either.
Right?
You know. But I mean, definitely time and patience, not only when it comes to barbecue, but also in your personal life. I've had to find the past few years as I've been maturing and raising my family and everything, that time and patience and loving one another is honestly the most important life tip that you can have in general, whether that's barbecue or personally. You know, I think that goes hand in hand with having a happy life, if you will, and a happy wife.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
But
always
time
happy
and
wife.
patience,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Everything isn't always going to be done in 4 hours at 400 degrees.
No,
and plan accordingly, you know. So,
Yeah.
but time and patience, I think, is going to be the number one thing. Anyone starting out new, I know the first brisket I cooked was horrible. I think that's everybody.
I know I remember it very vividly.
Yeah, and my family had been very patient with me whenever I first started learning how to cook.
Sure.
But man, that first chicken I turned out was pretty dang good.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
And that's
awesome.
been the thing. We probably have a chicken every week, you know. So
Cool.
it's good stuff. But time and patience, giving yourself time to learn and process.
Yeah. So just to kind of close out, that was your pro tip, right? Just patience on this whole trust the process, right? Mm-hmm. Any encouraging words, man, for the student that might be watching this, for the pitmaster that's just coming up, for the guy that's at home and just needs that catalyst to make the next step?
Yeah.
Any encouraging words?
So trust the process.
Yeah.
I mean, the most valuable thing that you can learn from another person is their experience, because they're going to make, if you will, the mistakes for you, and you can learn from someone who is much older and much wiser than you. I'm very much so a person to keep quiet, you know, and listen first and talk later, if you will, you know. Being able to learn from those that know more than you is most invaluable tip that you can have. Mm-hmm. You know, being here in the position I'm at with the school, you know, talking with my superintendents and my admin and my principals, you know, they might make decisions that I don't like, and me as a man, I'm like, oh, what are you talking about? It's got to be this way or no way, you know. But being able to calm down, take a step back, take a breather, patience, time, right? Yeah. And being able to talk with a fellow brother or a sister, you know, to vent, if you will. I mean, that goes into mental health and all that as well. Sure. But being able to talk and vent with somebody and then reassess your problem or whatever it is will save you a lot of heartache and a lot of trouble.
Absolutely.
And I've had to learn a lot of that this year and even going forward. So
That's good, man.
I'm excited for the future. If I can give a little shout out real quick to our superintendent, Dr. Shields, and our assistant superintendent, Mr. Garrett. I was so appreciative for them being able to help us out, acquire this beautiful pit and believe in us. You know, thank you to all of our administration, our coaches, and our principal, Mr. Villa, as well. I mean, I'm from La Vega. I graduated in 2015, and I couldn't be more proud to be able to be back here at the district, helping facilitate all of these great things. And it's not about me, it's not about the coaches, it's about the kids, you know. And that's why we all do this in education, is because of our love to be able to coach and mentor these students. And like you said, our future pitmasters, you know, our future entrepreneurs, if you will, you know. I mean, it's so gratifying to be able to hear the kids' stories and say, hey, I cooked for my mom and dad this weekend. Or, you know, if we have any leftovers from practice, then they take it,
That's
you know,
awesome,
they take it home and they're like, get their family.
They're proud.
Exactly. One of the things I want to do, I know this is a little off topic, but one of the things I want to do for this next year is if a student is coming in and helping us with the concession stand football season 2, 3, 4 times, I want to be able to provide that student a turkey for Thanksgiving. Yeah. Right? They've came in and their family has sacrificed time away with their kid for them to help us out.
Sure.
So I want to be able to help the students out and help the family, and that goes back into the community again and the involvement. But being able to provide a smoked turkey on Thanksgiving Day, hey family, look, this is what we do, this is what we make, and again, being able to have those family members get pulled into the community as well, and see what their child is engaged with. I mean, it couldn't be more gratifying.
Yeah. So, well, that's awesome, man. Well, that's awesome. Well, man, Trever, I appreciate you, man, coming here and obviously putting y'all's faith in us and trusting us to build you a pit. And I'm going to tell you what, early on you said that being a math teacher is usually not the most favorite. I'm going to tell you what, man, there are a few teachers' names that I remember back when I was in high school, and Coach Adam Richters was my math teacher. Okay. And I remember him. Yeah. Right? And so take that, man. Take it with a grain of salt or take it full-heartedly. Know that your students, these kids that you're coaching, will remember you for a very long time, and also a shout out to your superintendent and assistant superintendent as well for putting their faith in us and allowing us to build this beautiful pit. I really can't wait to see pictures and seeing where y'all take it, man.
I'm so excited, man.
Trever, man, I appreciate you, brother. Again, thank you very much, man.
Thank you, brother.
Everybody, man, in case you didn't know, this is Meet the Masters. I do encourage you to subscribe to our channel because we will have videos like this as well as other stuff that we do here at PRM BBQ Co. A little more in-depth, a little more inside of what we do in the shop, how we build, and just what we do in general. If you guys got any questions, if you guys are looking for a smoking pit, let me know because you guys know where we're at. We're at the corner of Rouse Street and Highway 90, man. And if you've got the will and the skill but not the dollar bill, let my banking partner help you out. And everybody, we are your prime barbecue company. Peace.
Thank you.